So, when the eclipse came in, the bees started getting a little rammy. So, you know what? We said, okay, let's call it a day. We know the one hive that we split is really in good shape. The other two, we had some unfinished business that we have to take care of. We need to make sure that the new colonies have feed on them and find out where the queens are. As they start getting rammy, it's kind of hard to search for a queen and brood and things like that. So we're going to go back in today and clean up a little bit on that. Let's do it. So again, which of these girls has a queen? And do we have brood in the queenless hive? So we'll listen. We'll see if they want to tell us. And if not, we'll explore. They're both surprisingly quiet. One of these two hives doesn't have a queen. So I guess they're gonna make us hunt. Now this is a case where I am not using smoke. I might have to, but I'm gonna start without smoke. Because you can normally see things a little bit better. A honey frame. A brood frame. Brood and young larva. And a queen. Beautiful. So the hive at the new location has our queen. That's what we want. Provided I can find young larvae in this hive, then I'm done on these two. But they don't have a workforce, so we're gonna feed them. I always prefer to do top feeding. Since we've already found our queen over here, I'm gonna smoke these guys. After all, they are queenless, so they have to be a little upset, although they're fairly quiet. And judging by the population, I might have to throw a super on them. But, you know, we'll see how many pending bees there are in this colony. That is, brood that hasn't hatched out yet. Side frame, we certainly don't expect that to be populated with anything. And it isn't. But I want to make sure I have eggs in here. I want to make sure that there's some way for them to raise a new queen. Because we found lots of eggs in that one, there's a possibility that that's the super that the queen was working the most, and we might not have anything down here. We have older brood. And I think from what I can see, we have a little younger brood on this frame that's headed in the right direction. A brood of just about all ages in here. I'm not perfectly sure that I'm seeing eggs though. Okay, we have eggs. We should be good. The next step on this hive, since we literally just did this split, is going to be coming back in a week and making sure that they are raising a new queen. If they are failing to raise a new queen, it may be that none of the eggs were viable for that purpose. If that's the case, then we have to take another frame of brood or another frame of eggs and put it in here to get them going. Since there isn't a huge ton of brood in this hive, I'm not going to throw a super on it. Because the workforce is going to wear down, and it's going to be a while before there's a mated queen in here. So this hive is going to be declining for a while, even if they successfully raise a new queen. But we know the queen is in the new location, which is very important, because that way they think they've swarmed already, and the workforce will build in that hive over there. And the workforce is in this hive. We have eggs, we have larvae, we have brood. We have every reason to believe that they will raise a new queen. We'll find out. 2 of our 3 splits now are stable, or as stable as they can be. And we'll take a look at the 3rd one next. If we're real lucky, we find a queen in this hive. And then we just throw some feed on to make sure that the other hive has sufficient resources. It's quiet. Quiet is good. She'll usually hang around the brood nest, but you know, they are bees. There's brood up here. Queens do not like light. When you're starting to work a hive, if a queen's going to run, it'll probably run down towards the darkness. So, let's see what we find though. More beautiful worker brood. And a few rambling drones. A couple of queen cups, but they're not charged. There's a queen cell on the side of the frame. Again, not charged. I use the term charged, meaning that there's an egg in there and it's being tended to, and there's a little royal jelly in there. You'll always find uncharged queen cups. It's just the way it is in hives. And now we're down to resources. Little honey. No. They're awfully calm if they're queenless. Of course, it is a bright sunny day with a lot in bloom. There's a nice queen cell. I don't see anything in it. Might be something left over from a previous year. Young bees and larvae. Big fat drones to try to confuse us. I may have to review the video to see if there's a queen in here, because these bees are acting docile. I haven't seen one yet. But as I've often said, sometimes you don't see them. There's a lot of brood of all ages in here. That's a good thing. So, inconclusive. They act calm. But I didn't find a queen. So, we'll let this go a few days or a week. And we'll come back. And if we have new brood, then we know we had a queen in here. If we don't have new brood, then we know we have to take some action. And of course, we have to look at number 6. And we may very well find the queen in there, and then we'll know for sure. Or we may find a very noisy hive, in which case we can be pretty sure this one has the queen. Because no matter what, they don't have a workforce. So now we're back to number 6. And this may answer where our queen is or isn't. This hive is packed. This hive is packed. Those are very jumpy. Nice sign of a queenless hive. So that may be the answer. I don't know. They definitely have that roar. This hive is acting queenless. We have brood, but do we have young enough brood for them to raise a queen? But they certainly sound like a queenless hive. Well, we're not going to have any population problem with this hive if they go queenless for a while. seeing young eggs. So, they're noisy, a little aggressive, and they have plenty of brood. So we'll wait a week, and we'll look at this one and the other one, and we'll know at that point in time whether we have a laying queen or not. And if these guys are not raising a queen at that point in time, we'll transfer some eggs, broods, or queen cups into this hive. They certainly have solid population. They certainly have a lot of brood to hatch out yet. So I think we're in pretty good shape. They may be queenless. They certainly sound like they're queenless. I still don't know what it is about cameras, but these guys just love to try to whack the camera. In any case, we did 3 splits. In each case, the queen appears to be in the new colony, in the new location. That's what we wanted. That's a score. So what we have to do is we have to come back and make sure that each of the colonies that were left behind is able to raise a queen. And that actually is the trickier part on splits. I mean, you know, if you have a good laying queen, they're gonna do fine. But colony raising queen's a different story. You gotta make sure that the queen hatches. You gotta make sure that she successfully comes back from a mating flight as compared to being eaten by a, passing bird. So that's all for this week from Buzz Park. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe. Really important. It's the way YouTube does its thing as far as promoting videos. Get away from there. And we'll see you next week. Goodbye.